Hello everyone, welcome again to our live webinar. In this webinar, we will be discussing about some of the effective customization techniques to build your applications on Twinr. In our previous webinar, we discussed about start to end process, that how you can build an application on Twinr. Plus, we have gone through all the features briefly. So today, we will be picking up some of the important features that will help us to customize mobile apps, and we will be discussing about all those features in depth. Before we start, I would like to congratulate our winners from last webinar. So again, I would like to congratulate Chandril and Frederick here. They have won our lifetime deal from the last webinar. In this webinar as well, we will be offering a few giveaways to our participants based on their engagement. Now, that engagement can be again anything based on the questions that you will be asking in the webinar, plus your honest feedback or reviews that you are providing. Plus, if you will be writing some good reviews for Twinr platform on some of the platforms that we are live on, such as like Product Hunt or G2, Trustpilot, and all those platforms. So we'll be looking for all those engagements, and then, as usual, we will be announcing our winner on coming Monday. Okay. So before we start with anything, the first thing to understand here is that why mobile app customization is important for any mobile applications. So when you create your application on Twinr, right, obviously you are converting your website into mobile apps. Now, you don't really want that your users feel that they are just browsing your web page in a responsive mobile device. You don't want to do that. So instead, what you want to provide them a feeling that they are actually using a native mobile application, right? And to achieve that result, to achieve that purpose, we need to do some kind of customization in the mobile apps using some of the features that we are providing. My next point here is about application rejection. So you might have heard about application got rejected on Apple Store, Play Store for blah blah blah, whatever the reason is, right? So there are chances, for example, if you do not do any kind of customization, then Apple will consider or Google will consider that your application is not really providing a good user experience, or it's not good fit for their App Store users and all those things, right? We have seen these kind of results, these kind of reasons. So the best thing is you do some kind of customizations. You provide some of the a combination of native components plus web components, right? And then based on that customizations, we are giving 100% guarantee that your application will get approved on Play Store and App Store account. So there is no chances that Apple will reject it if you are adapting some of the customization techniques here. And if you ever do come up to that situation, our team will be personally included in your app approval process, and they will make sure that your application will get approved on the stores. Okay. Now, next point is about making your app more mobile friendly. Because you are converting your website into mobile apps, now you want to make your mobile application more mobile friendly. And to do that, there are some of the features that you can use, such as bottom bar, tab bar, hamburger menu, and all those things. Using that, your user will actually feel that they are using a mobile application. And that's what we want to achieve here. That's what our prime focus is, right? And last, improve customer experience plus easier navigation for the user. So as I mentioned before, that using hamburger menu, you are providing easy access to some of the most important screen of your application. Plus, using the tab bar, you are providing the best user experience from home page to shop page. If they want to go navigate between two different screens here, they just click on the shop icon in the tab bar, and they will be able to access the shop content immediately. They don't need to wait for the page to be loaded, right? So these kind of customizations will help us in couple different ways to increase our user experiences, to give it a mobile application feeling, to less chance of application rejection on App Store and Play Store account. But trust me, there won't be ever you feel that there is a rejection in your application because of you are converting your website into mobile apps. So there is no chance for that. It's a myth that people is talking about. Okay. Now, here are some of the features that I will be highlighting, and we will be also going through all these features in depth in our demo segment as well. So all these features will contribute to application customization at some point. So my first point here is about theme setup. So if you have created your application on Twinr, then we highly recommend using a theme setup. Now, theme setup will give you a facility where you can set up all of your branding guidelines, where you can consider the colors of the tab bar or the navigation bar or the buttons and everything, plus the text style, font size, right, and text weight and everything. So whatever text guideline you are following in your website, I think you should similarly set up on the mobile for the mobile application as well. And again, branding is very important part of any of the product or business, right? It actually stands you out of the competition. So whenever you do this kind of setups, okay, your application, your users will will feel connected with your mobile applications, with your branding personally. So we highly recommend doing the theme setup as well. My next point is remove elements. So in mobile, in our website, we do we can have a footer and header and some other extra components that probably we don't need in mobile apps, right? So our remove elements feature will help you to remove those elements only from the mobile apps. Your website is not going to get affected by that. But what you can do, you can just highlight that, okay, I don't want to display footer in my mobile apps because that's probably not useful for the mobile application users, right? So we only want to display content that is important for the mobile application users, and all the other content we can remove from the web pages. I mean, when it is being displayed in the mobile apps, not from the actual website, right? So using remove elements, we can do that and we can achieve that result. Now, my third point is URL policies. So every website has a third party URLs, for example, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or all those things, right? So we want to handle those URLs elegantly, because when user click on the Facebook URL, I don't want to open that URL in the mobile application itself, because it's not more important for me, right, or for my mobile application user. So instead, what I want to do, I want to bring them to the mobile browser, so their application will not get affected by that particular page. Okay, and also there is an opposite scenario as well. So there are some third-party website URLs. So for example, if your website has a multi-domain, right? Your like for example, your branding.com plus you have your portal or something like that, app.branding.com, right? So at that point, you want to keep users in the mobile application for both those domains, and you can achieve that result using URL policies. So we can write custom rules in the URL policies as well, using which we can achieve all these results. And I'll explain everything in detail again in our demo session. The next one is cart refresh. So let's take an example that you have a mobile application in which you have two different screens, shopping screen and the cart screen, right? Now, whenever user go to the shopping screen, open a product and add that product to the cart, what you want to do, you want to reload your cart screen so that the cart screen should have a updated info list of the products that is there in the cart. Okay, so to achieve that result, we can use cart refresh feature, where whenever user will add something to the product, the cart page is gonna be get refreshed, so they will be able to see the latest updated list of the products there. So if your website has a cart functionality, then we highly recommend using this feature. So next one is responsible URLs. This one is again very interesting feature. So for example, obviously on home pages, we display some list of products like featured products or recommended products or something. And in our mobile application, if we have a shop page for the dedicated listing, for a product listing or maybe any kind of filters or anything. So when user click on any of the product, usually it's open the product details screen, right? So now if I want to achieve that, whenever user try to open a product details screen, I want to always redirect them to the shopping screen. I don't want to open it in the home page or anywhere else. Okay, so if they try to open a recommended product, they try to click on a recommended product on the home screen, still what I want to open that product detail page on the shopping screen and not on the home screen. Okay, so to do that, we can make our shopping screen responsive for all these URLs, and then whenever user will try to do that, it will bring them to the shopping screen. And again, I'll give you give you a demo that how it works exactly and what kind of use case it's gonna be there. The next one is CSS, which is very common again. So if you want to stand out your mobile application from your website in terms of styling, so like maybe for example, in your mobile application you want to change the color of certain fonts, right? Maybe your banner or whatever it is, right? So you can apply an extra CSS to your mobile application. So your website is still going to use whatever it has, but your mobile application will be using this extra CSS that you are providing, and it will look a bit different than your website. So again, this is also one of the customization technique we are providing, and sometimes it is highly recommended as well. So in today's demo session, we will be discussing about all these 6 different features, that how you can use those features and how it's gonna contribute to your mobile application customization. Okay, so now it's my favorite part of the webinar here. It's a demo time. So let's start that. Okay, so first, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one application, right? And then one by one, I'm going to apply all these customization techniques that we discussed. And after that, our final result will be our production ready app that we can directly publish on Play Store and App Store account. Okay, so let's start with creating an application here. So let's start with, let's select the e-commerce template. What I'm going to do, e-commerce demo. Okay, that will be my application name. Again, industry will be e-commerce and website platform will be WordPress here. Next, now we need 4 different URLs here. So let's bring all of them one by one. This one is my home screen, my shopping screen, if I'm not wrong, it's a shop page. My cart screen is cart, and let me bring up my account URL here. Okay. Yeah, there you go. So we have our account URL as well. And then click on the build app button, and we have our application available here. Now, first of all, let's take a look that without any customization, how our application looks like. Okay, so I have my preview application available here. And then we have an e-commerce demo application here. Let's click on the preview. So you see, that's how it looks like right now. Okay, without any kind of customization, basically. We have this blue top bar, navigation bar there. We have duplicated bottom bar as well. One is from the website and one is our native. So obviously I don't want to use from the website, and I want to use from the mobile application, right? So first thing first, as I said, that let's set up the branding information, that how we can change the colors of this navigation bar, update the font size and everything, right? So go to the application, and we have a app theme menu here. Okay, and as you can see that under the navigation bar we have a background color to blue. So let me change it to the white first. Background color to white. Okay, now now save it as a draft, and again go to the app and let's refresh this. So you see now my background color has been changed to white, which is more of my branding color, and it's aligned with whatever branding guidelines I have. Okay, now the next thing is that this title looks a bit smaller. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to increase the title font size. Let's increase it to 20 pixel and save it as a draft. Again, go to the preview app and let's reload this. So yeah, now it looks perfect, and let's verify that it got affected on all the screens here. So you see all of the screens have that branding set up here. The title font size increased. Okay. Now the next thing I want to do is that in my navigation bar, okay, only for the home screen, instead of this text here as a home, I want to use an image. Okay, just for the, like application looks more elegant if we do that. So whenever user will open an application, they will be able to see our brand logo first, and it's kind of a human psychology that they will get more connected by looking at it, right? So For that, what I'll do, I'll go to the screens menu, and under the home screen, I have a navigation bar section here. Okay. And under the title type, it's a title text right now. Change it to the image and select your image here. So I have my image here. Let me select it and save it as a draft. Now let's again go to the preview app, and you see there is an image in the header, but obviously it's very small, so that's not gonna work, right? So what we can do, we can go to the app theme again, and we have two different options here, which says title image height and title image width. So let's increase the title image height to 50 pixel. And because my logo is a horizontal logo, right? So what I want more height than more width than height. Okay, so I'll increase my width to 100 pixel. Save it as a draft, and let's go to the preview again and reload this. So you see now my logo looks perfect in the header. So I have achieved the similar kind of header in my mobile apps with the native header, right? So now let's think about the next point, that do I need this header anymore? I would say no, because we already have a dedicated cart screen. So that means we don't need the cart button here. Cart screen is already available at the bottom of the screen here, right? So that's already available. If we look at some other menus, for example, in a hamburger, then like home is already there in the bottom bar. About us, not really very much important, right? Shopping screen is already there. Blog is again not very much important. Contact us, not very much important. If we want, we can just add one button in the account screen for the contact us, right? Sign in and all those things are already covered in the account menu. So our account menu is already displaying the sign in screen right now. So that means we don't really need this header anymore, because we have covered everything. Okay, so now my next step will be to remove this header completely from my mobile application. So let's do that. To do that, we go to the screens menu. Under the general settings, we have a remove elements option here. Okay, and first of all, what we need to do, we need to find out the identifier. So when we try to add a new element here, it will ask us for the identifier. So let's find out the identifier. I'll right click on this web page, inspect it, and then click on this little arrow icon here. And then we need to select the component that we want to remove. So I'm selecting this component, and you see it's highlighting it here. So if I'll move my cursor up, okay, on the on the left hand side, you will see that it's highlighting the component that it is related to. Now that's where we reach. So our header is actually this element. So to remove it, there are multiple ways to do that. Okay. So first of all, the easiest way to remove any element is using ID and class. Okay. So in this element, we have both the things. We have the ID available as well. We have the class available as well. Okay. But what we need to see, that are those class or ID unique to this particular element? And to find it out, what you need to do, just copy this class name, for example, right? And Control F or Command F for the searching, and see that this class name is only used for this header, because it has been found only one time. So that means it is unique. If we look at the site header, it has been used to here as well, but it's not the exact site header. It has the vertical at the end. So our site header is unique as well, right? So what I want to do, I'll just copy this class name, site header, go to the portal, and add this class name here. Now because it's a class name, again append dot at the start and save it as a draft. So let's go to our preview app again and reload this. So you see now there is no header, it's gone, right? Okay, now another way, for example, if you don't have a class available in your element, so you can use ID as well, right? So instead of class name, let me use ID here, and it's gonna be the similar result with paste the ID here. Now because it's a ID, append hash at the start and that's it. Save it as a draft. And let's go to our preview app again and reload it, and you see the similar result. There is no header still, and we can remove it using the ID as well. The next thing is you can remove any element using this element name as well if it's unique. Or else, for example, if you want to remove all the elements with the span name, span or div or something, then you can do that as well. You can just write down header here or the div here, whatever element you want to remove. So right now I have only one header in my website, only one header element here. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to use this element to remove it. So for the element name, you just need to add the element name, and that's it. Save it as a draft, go to the preview app again, and let's check that. So you see it's still similar, right? Now, but I would always highly recommend using class or ID, because maybe in the future if you use a new element with the similar element name like header, then it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna remove that particular both the headers with the header name, right? So what I would recommend using class name. Now, for example, you have two header elements, right, with different class names, but you want to remove only one. Okay, so what you can do for that, you can add some extra customization as well. You can specify that my element name is header. Okay, and for that element, if my class name is site header, so the site header, that's what I want to remove. Now, because it's a class name, we need to append dot at the start, and also we need to remove the space in between. So header is an element name dot class name. I want to remove the header of this class name. That's what we are specifying here. Save it as a draft. Again, go to the preview app and reload it. So you see there is still no header there. Okay, so you can add some extra conditions like this as well. If you have multiple elements with the similar name but a different class name or ID or whatever it is, you can specify that as well. Okay, so let's look at some other. So for example, now we have removed the header. Okay, but what I don't really want this bottom bar as well from the website, because I do have a dedicated from my mobile application. Okay, so to remove that, again, click on this little arrow icon, select here this particular element, and as you can see, this mobile panel is wrapped under this div class. Okay, so let's do the same thing. Copy the class name. Okay, sorry, copy the class name here and add a new element and append dot at the start because it's a class. Save it as a draft, go to the preview app, and there you go. There is no panel here anymore. Now we have only our native navigation bar here. And similarly, I want to remove footer as well. So let's go and find out the footer element. So it's kind of like my footer element is here. So my class name is also footer. So let's copy this class name, or maybe this div actually. Yeah, footer wrapper. Go here and dot footer wrapper. Go to the application again and reload it. Okay, let's go to the end of the screen and see we don't have a footer there anymore. It's been removed. Now all these changes that we are applying right now, we are adding it into the general settings. That means it will be applicable to all the screens. So if you go to the shopping screen as well, there is no header. There won't be any footer as well. You see, in the cart screen as well, there is no footer, there is no header. Because it's in the general settings, that means it will be applied to all the screens that we have in the mobile app. Okay. Now, for example, if I want to remove certain elements from this particular screen, like if I go to my home screen here, then I have this banner, but I don't want to display this in the mobile app. I want my mobile app to start from this particular element. So what I can do, I can just find it out, the element of this banner, okay, which looks like is this one. Oh, yeah, this one. So let me copy this ID, which looks unique to me, and then go to the home screen, and under the home screen I will be adding this element under remove elements. Okay, and save it as a draft. Because this is only applicable to the home screen, so I don't want to add this element under the general settings directly. Save it as a draft, go to the app and reload this again. So you see there is no banner anymore. It's gone. Okay, perfect. So that's how we can use remove elements feature to customize or to remove some of the elements that we don't need in our mobile application, and only providing content that is more important for our user. Now the next part, which will be our cart refresh. So as you can see in my mobile application here, for example, if I have a dedicated cart screen and I have 10 items in the cart right now. Okay, so if I go here and add, for example, another item here, so it should be 11 items in the cart. That means product has been added to the cart. Now let's go to the cart screen. You see it's still sorry, it was 11 before and it should be 12 now, so it's still 11, right? It's not being added here. So what I can do for that, let's try it one more time to be very sure. Grain I have added there, and you see it's not here again, right? So to do that, we need to enable this cart refresh integration feature. Okay, enable this feature and it will ask you to enter cart counter selector. Okay, so how we can find out cart counter selector? It's again similar thing. Cart counter selector means you will need to provide this counter identifier. Again, select the arrow icon, click on 0 here, and you see this counter is under this span tag. So copy this class name, go here, append dot at the start and the class name, and save it as a draft. That's it. You are done with that. Now let's go to our application and try to add some of the products in the cart. Now let me add some new products in the cart. For example, so let's see right now we have these many products in the cart, which is 13 products total. I'll go to the shopping screen again, add to the cart. So product is being added to the cart, and now I'll go to the cart screen. So you see it's gonna be refreshed again. See, now there is multiple products here. Okay, so that's how you can achieve this result. You can achieve the cart refresh feature. So whenever you will be adding some of the products in the cart, your cart is gonna be refreshed, and that means your cart will have an updated list of products there. Let's go here and see I have added a product here, so it's refreshing the cart page right now. See, okay, perfect. So that's what the cart refresh feature is. Now my next feature is URL policy. So what I want to do, even before starting with URL policy, let me enable the footer for a moment, because that's where my Facebook URL is, and I want to click on that. Okay, so under the URL policy, obviously there is a generalized rule, which is same domain URL policy open in current tab, and different domain URL policy says open in a mobile browser. But what I want to do, that even though it's a similar domain URL, I want to open it in a different browser. But first of all, let's see that our generalized rules are working or not. So let's refresh this, and on the home page we have a footer here enabled now for a moment. And if I'll click on the Facebook page here, so you see it's bringing me out of the application. That means it is opening in the mobile browser, right? And for all the similar domain URLs, like for example, if I'll navigate to about us, it's working and it's keeping it in the mobile app itself. Now let's generate the reverse scenario. Even though Facebook is a different domain URL, I want to open it in a mobile app. Okay, so to do that, add a new custom policy here, and let me click on that URL from here as well. Just a minute. Yeah, so this one is our Facebook URL. Okay, so what I want to do basically, simply I will specify that whenever in the URL you will find facebook.com as a substring anywhere, open it in a current tab. That's what I'm deciding right now. Now save it as a draft. Let's go to our preview app and reload this. Let's go to the bottom of the screen and click on the Facebook. You see, now the Facebook URL is opening in the mobile application itself. Okay, now let's generate the another scenario where even though it's a similar domain URL, same domain URL like still I want to open it in a different, in a mobile browser. So let's take an example of the About Us screen. So for example, let's click on the About Us and see. So this one is our URL, and About Us is this part. So I'm adding a new policy here and mentioning that whenever you find About Us in the URL, match it as a substring and open it in a mobile browser. That's it. We are done here. Now let's go to our application again, reload this, and go to bottom of the screen and click on the About Us. See, now About Us is getting opened in a mobile browser, even though it's a similar domain URL. So that's how you can utilize URL policy feature to handle the URLs elegantly and to decide that, okay, this URL should be opened like this. And again, similar thing, either at the general settings, you can do it at the general settings, or you have flexibility to do at the screen level as well. Okay. Next thing, what I want to do is, as I explained before, I want to use the responsible URL, and in my mobile application here, okay, if I go to the home screen, then I have this product here, all the new products listed here on the home screen as well. When I click on that product, okay, it's going to the product details screen. But what I want, when user try to open any of the product, I want to bring them to the shopping screen, because that's what my dedicated screen for the product listing, product detail, adding to the cart, and all those things, right? So to do that, what I can do, I can go to the shopping screen under the responsible URLs and add a new rule here. And first thing we need to provide is expression to match. So it says that which kind of URL, right, you want to redirect to the shopping screen. So let's go to the home page here and click on any of the product. So you see that that's how the URL looks like, /product/rice. Okay, now let's click on another product. Let me go back and open this one. So you see for this one as well, it says /product/seasoning. So looks like my all the product detail pages are coming up with /product and then the product name, right? So what I want to do, copy this /product here, right? And then match it as a substring. And so what I'm doing, what I'm telling here is that whenever you find /product/ in the URL, okay, always open those kind of URLs under the shopping screen and not anywhere else. Let's save it as a draft, go to our application and try this scenario. So if I go to home screen and try to open any of the product here, you see the tab here is changed. It's in the shopping screen right now. If I go to the home screen, there is no change. So what it did, it came to the shopping screen, it brings the user to the shopping screen, and then after it opened that particular product detail page here, right? So that's how you can decide that which screen should be responsible for which part of the application. And I would say that to give you another use case here, for example, you have a sign in or login screen on your home page. So anytime user click on that, what you want to do, you have a dedicated account screen here, which has the login, sign up, all the functionalities. So you don't want your users to open login page in the home screen again, right? Instead, you want to redirect them to the account screen. So that's where as well you can decide this rule, and you can add this rule under the account screen and specify that this kind of URL should be responsible for the account screen itself. Okay, so that's what the responsible URL feature is. Now, next thing I want to highlight here is about CSS. So, for example, in my website here, if I go to home page again, this banner or this banner title is of a black color, but I want to make it as a red color in a mobile app. I don't want to touch my website. I just want to update that color in the mobile application. So what we can do, we can go to the general settings under the CSS. Actually, let me add that to the screen level this time to just have an extra example. Okay. So I'll go to the home screen, add a new element, and again, it's asking me for the elements identifier. So let's find out that identifier of the text. So if I'll select the text, then it says that it's banner content, right? Or it's a banner heading. That's what it is. So let's copy this, or maybe banner heading is actually used at the for another element as well. So banner subtitle and banner title looks unique to me. Okay, so let's copy this one. Banner subtitle as a class. Okay, up and dot at the start, and CSS property. So to change the color of the text, I can just write color and whatever the color I want, red, and semicolon. Save it as a draft. Now let's go to our application again and see that it's get affected or not. You see, there you go. Now my banner title colors are of red color, right? So that's how you can apply CSS as well. And again, similar thing, you can apply CSS either at the screen level or you can directly apply at the general level as well. So here in my mobile app, I have multiple banners with the similar class name, right? So I have 3 different banners with .banner subtitle class name. So all of them got updated at the same time. So all of them has a red title here. Okay, so that's pretty much it for our customization techniques. And now if we look at our mobile application, then we have our home screen completely achieved that whatever we want, right? Under the shop screen as well, we have everything. We have a product list, we have a product detail here. We have our cart screen as well. Everything achieved, payment and everything is working out of the box, so we don't need to worry about it, right? Plus we have our account screen as well, where user will be able to log in and manage their accounts. So looks like we have achieved everything that we want, right? And now, as you can see, that we are ready to release our application for the Play Store and App Store accounts. Perfect. So that's it for this demo today, right? And let's go to our next segment here. Okay, so now I want to announce one new feature that we have recently released, which is auto publish iOS app to App Store, which is a test flight, right? So until now, whenever you request an iOS build, right, you had to download the build file and then manually submit it to your App Store account, but not anymore. So next time, now onwards, when you will request any iOS build, okay, your builds will be automatically submitted to your App Store account. So you don't need to do it manually. It will be available directly under your account. Okay, these are some of the applications that's got recently approved, and those are built on Twinr. So one of them is Atiban, which is a financial service sector, and they have their iOS application live right now. Another one is Sense My Farm, which is again related to farming, and he is our Australian customer, and they have both the application, their Play Store and App Store App Store applications live right now. This one is This and That. They have their e-commerce application, and again similar thing. Both the applications are currently live on stores. Okay, so here are some of the important links for you guys, and I would again request you guys to provide us some good feedback, honest feedback on any of the platform here: Product Hunt, G2, Capterra, Trustpilot, or anywhere, right? Please provide us a good your honest feedback here. It will help us to improve our product, and also we get to know that what you are looking for. And some other important links: our roadmap, our help documentation, and everything. So yeah, and we will be sending this presentation to you guys on your email, so everything will be there for you. Now, on a public demand, we want to announce our next webinar, which will be on how to build APK and IPF files on Twinr and submit to stores. So we will be going through all the details in depth, that how you can create your APK and IPF file, how to set up the Twinr account, your Twinr application to request a build files, and also how you can upload it to your Play Store account and submit to your respective stores. So please join this webinar, and there will be a webinar registration link available in the chatting there, in the chat there. That being said, the floor is completely open for you guys. If you guys have any questions here, please ask, right? And as I said before, based on your engagement, we will be providing giveaways to our users, our lifetime deal giveaways, right? So please go for that. If you want to directly speak up, unmute yourself and speak it up. If not, then you can write down a message, and I will be reading those messages and answering your questions here. Where can I find the roadmap? The app looks great, and I'm so happy that I found it. Okay, thank you for that, Sienna. So what I can do, Karan will be sending. Okay, so there is a roadmap URL available here. Yeah, next to your message. So open that URL, and that's it. That's our roadmap is. In under the roadmap. So for example, if I click on the roadmap, right, you will be able to see all the next features that we are coming up, plus all the releases that we are doing. So you will be able to find out all the updates here, that what we did release in our last one, and you will be able to submit your ideas as well. And I would highly recommend doing it. If you have some things in your mind, and if we are not providing that feature, please request it, and we will consider that in our future roadmap. So I have a question from Johnson here. This was really meaningful. I had not understood how to optimize the app. I'm confident I can get this working in iOS and Android. Thank you for that. And then again, if you need any other help, always feel free to contact us. And always, you can always contact us using our live chat feature as well, right? You just contact our support, and someone will help you over the chat here.